Now, in the past 24 hours, a recording of Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman losing her cool with Karnataka Minister Mahesh during her visit to flooded areas in Karnataka has gone viral. They seem publicly fighting over the fact that he addressed a gathering first. She's heard saying, "The central minister follows the minister in charge here." Unbelievable. She's also heard referring to a parivar being important, which led some people to suggest that she was upset because she was being rushed, even though the delay was because she went to visit a shelter being run by RSS workers, which wasn't originally in the schedule. Now, a day later, it has become a major controversy. First, with Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, G. Parmeshwara, making it a centre versus state issue by tweeting, "It was disappointing to see you lash out at my colleague. State governments derive their powers from our constitution, not from the centre. The constitution has distributed powers among the centre and states to ensure an equitable partnership between both. We are not inferior." And then the Ministry of Defence, so that's what he said. And then we had the statement from the Ministry of Defence, which was a press release which attacked the Karnataka minister, and that said, "Unfortunate that the minister behaved the way he did. Personal remarks made against Defence Minister were also in bad taste. Remarks made by District Minister lowered the dignity of Rajya Sabha, and gross misrepresentation of use of term parivar by Defence Minister. All ex-servicemen are part of the Ministry of Defence Parivar." So this is what's happened, the back and forth between the Defence Ministry, the Defence Minister and the Karnataka government, all while visiting the flood affected. Let's just take a look at the video and then we'll try and see what this is all about and what to make out from this entire episode.
मिनट टू मिनट प्रोग्राम में वो पहला है जी. मिनट टू मिनट प्रोग्राम आई एम फॉलोइंग मिनिस्टर. I don't violate that. If officials are important, my parivar is also equally important. I follow the minister in charge. Central minister follows the minister in charge here. Unbelievable. You have a list of minute to minute for me to follow. If you did have a difference of opinion, you should have sorted it out even before. Not to put me in an embarrassing position. मैडम डिसाइड नहीं मारता, आप लोग डिसाइड मारते हैं. ओके हाँ, माइक में जब बोलेंगे जी. वैसे माइक ऑन भी है ना, सो डोंट वरी, रिकॉर्ड कर लो जितने चाहिए.
So for more on this story and what this is all about, because there are certain questions which still persist, especially after the Defence Ministry's response and the Karnataka government as well, we're joined by the spokesperson of BJP Karnataka, Vivek Reddy. We're also joined by Danish Ali, he's spokesperson of the JDS. Mr. Reddy, I want to begin with you. You know, one of the things that the spokesperson, the Defence Ministry statesman said was that personal remarks were made against Defence Minister, also in bad taste. Now, the video didn't capture that. Can you throw light on that? What did the minister say? What did Sara Mahesh say, which was in bad taste, which also lowered the dignity of Rajya Sabha?
Well, after the minister left, Mr. Sara Mahesh has gone on record to have stated that, first of all, the minister is from Rajya Sabha. She does not know what it is to be elected from amongst the people of Karnataka, or from amongst the people. Now, that was a remark in bad taste. And he further goes on to make statements saying that the minister has been directly taken as the defence minister. I think it is not his prerogative, neither his concern to talk about these things. The whole issue here narrows down to one fact. The minister, Honorable Rakshana Mantri, was talking to the veterans whose lives had been affected due to the floods. And at that juncture, for the minister to come up and say, ask her to come out of that meeting and address the other meeting, after all, it would have taken 5 to 10 minutes or maximum 15 minutes. But where was the necessity to disrupt such a meeting? This is where there is a flashpoint. And that is why we find the Rakshana Mantri asking the minister that when it is in the itinerary, where is the question of you disrupting that itinerary? I am following that itinerary. After all, it was set by the district administration. Now, this is the sad part of what Mr. Mahesh did. Where was the necessity when a union minister, defence minister, is having a discussion with the veterans? Where is the necessity for a minister to come and disrupt it? He may have derived his powers from the constitution. No problem.
Okay.
There is no doubt
No.
about that. But why, this is basic
Mr.
etiquette.
Reddy, right,
Why,
Mr.
why don't
Reddy,
you follow this etiquette, Minister?
You
That
made
is
that
the
point
problem.
well. We are also joined by Rajeshri Sen, who is a columnist. But Mr. Reddy, one thing I wanted to ask you, just to clarify, because from the video and the kind of response that it has generated, because it's a very unusual video to see, and that's why we are talking about it right now, especially also the response from the Defence Ministry. Would you accept that it's also, the minister also seems to have got very upset about the fact that she was made to, her speech was after the state minister. So the protocol, she felt that the protocol wasn't, adhered to. That was also a problem for her?
Well, the immediate issue was this. I don't think she was deeply concerned about other things.
But that's
The
what we
immediate
heard,
issue
Mr.
was
Reddy,
that
that's
at
what
that
we
juncture,
heard,
that point
that
of
she
time,
says
she
her
was
quote,
talking.
her
She was talking to
anger
the veterans.
on video, Mr. Reddy, her anger on video is saying unbelievable that the state minister speaks before the union minister. So it was a protocol also that she was upset
Absolutely.
over? It was an issue.
What she was referring to was, what she was referring to was that the minister had set the itinerary, and now after having set the itinerary, he is asking her to come out of that itinerary,
Right.
and he is setting the agenda. That was what she was referring to. If there is an
Okay, so
agreed
Daneshali,
agenda,
please respond
and they
to
are
what
working
he's
on that.
saying. Daneshali, please respond to what the BJP and what now Ministry of Defence has said, that your ministers were rude, were speaking in bad taste to one of our women top ministers of the government of India, that they were rude, and they also he's now clarified on what were those
And merely because
disparaging
she's from Rajya
remarks.
Sabha.
Yes. Also belittling the status of Rajya Sabha, that she's from
See-
Rajya Sabha. Yeah, let Mr. Daneshali respond, sir. Yes, Mr. Daneshali,
Sunet-
go ahead.
Sunetra, everybody has watched this video, and everybody has watched the arrogance of the BJP leader and the defense minister of this country. See, they are not understanding. They are in a arrogance.
Okay, we seem to be having problem with his. Rajeshri, what do you make of this entire episode? This is a video which is very, very unusual. It's got a lot of, it was trending all day today. We don't really see, and the minister is very aware that it's being recorded, and she says, go ahead, let it be recorded. So, she's very, very upset. What do you make of this video?
So, first of all, I just think it just reeks of arrogance as usual. And I understand that she's upset about protocol being breached, in the sense that she does make a statement that how can a central minister follow a minister in charge? Now, the fact that in this situation you've gone to check what kind of relief is required in Kodagu, they need around 2,000 to 3,000 crores. That money has not been released by the government. This is neither the time nor the place to be arrogant. And just, it's that I'm the boss kind of mentality, which it's all over India. It's not limited to the government. And it's just not the time to do this. And what has happened by doing this is she's deflected attention from a very key message which could have helped BJP's image, in fact, that she immediately announced 1 crore from her MP lad scheme. Then she said, we'll give 7 crores from the defense PSUs. Not that it makes that much of a difference when you need 2,000 crores relief in aid. But by doing something so silly and arrogant, you've just ruined the entire messaging. Even the limited positive messaging that came out of her visit to the state. Right, so I don't know. I don't think they are thinking on their feet, and it's just plain arrogance.
But Rajeshri Sen, do you think that we are being unfair? Because did you hear what Vivek Reddy had as an explanation of the kind of things which weren't on camera, where he says, and which is the Defence Ministry also alleges, that Sara Mahesh, the local minister, was speaking in a disparaging fashion about the fact that she's never been elected, that she's from the Rajya Sabha. Does that, and that's not on camera, does that justify her, I mean, she's human, does that justify her having a rough day? And
I don't know. This No, and I'm sure it's very difficult. Neither you nor I know what it must be like to go to a district which has been ravaged in this manner, to oversee things and to be the face of the government at that point. But I don't think anything, this is when you have to be the bigger person, right? If he did make these statements, which are not there on camera anywhere, even I read the statement which has been sent out by the ministry, it doesn't justify her behavior, especially when she says, I hope all the mics are on, I hope you're recording this. It's just in such poor taste, and especially when you keep in mind what she's gone there for. And say the schedule was juggled around and she was asked to speak to these officials who are part of the rehabilitation work. So it's fine. You juggle your schedule around, it's not the end of the world. And there's no cause for this kind of behavior, and it simply looks horrible. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, Mr. Reddy, keep in mind that what Rajeshri is saying is something which would be, you know, that's the kind of opinion that many people who are looking at it as outsiders, that they may be going away with that takeaway from that video.
Well, if you look at the video and you judge the video by itself, I think it would be very wrong to disconnect the video from the previous circumstances. That's the mistake we make. We get blinded by seeing the video. What I request my co-panelist is to look out the statement, to see the statement issued, statement of clarification issued by the Defence Department. It clearly says the circumstances under which this happened. Now, if suppose you be in that position, I mean, we are all human. If suppose a person is addressing veterans, it's very important. Veterans who have suffered in the Kodagu calamity. If you are talking to them and there is a serious discussion going on, where is the necessity of a disruptive intervention by the minister? It was wholly uncalled for. After all, you have a defence minister, you have a member of the Rajya Sabha, you have a respected member from the political community who is sitting there and addressing veterans. Is that the respect the Minister of State shows for the veterans, the district in charge minister? And what was Mr. Nirmala Sitharaman discussing? She was also discussing the flood relief for the veterans. It was part of the whole project of calamity relief.
You know, one of the things that has been pointed out, Mr. Reddy, one of the things pointed out by Karnataka, because they made the schedule public. They pointed out that she visited one thing which wasn't on the itinerary, and even the ex-serviceman wasn't on the itinerary. But of course, that happens.
But this controversy was not about that.
Okay, I understand.
This controversy
what did you
was
want
not
to say,
about that.
Rajeshri Sen? What did you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I have read that statement, sir. It's not that I haven't read the statement. Even if Mahesh has said this, I'm taking the statement to be true. Even if he had said this, you don't hear her responding to that. Her comment is very different. So if she's responding to that, it's not making sense. The video is just not gelling. The other thing, though, I have to say is the good part about this is that thanks to all this discussion about her behavior, we aren't talking about the important part of why the government is releasing such little aid to a state that has been ravaged in this manner. So in a way, the BJP should be happy with this behavior, because now we aren't talking about the fact that we are allowed to take aid from outside nations. It's there in the 2015 policy and Chapter 9, National Disaster Management Plan. But now we aren't discussing that, because now we are discussing why Ms. Sitharaman threw a little fit. And it's very sad that we have very few female cabinet members, and that this is why they are in the news.
Yes, but you know, that's also perfect cue to...
I think you are falling into a too extreme and wrong interpretation of facts.
Okay, that's just, we've heard both your interpretations over there. It's a pity that we couldn't hear JDS's Danish Ali. It's a pity we couldn't hear him because of a technical problem. However, we heard both of yours, and it's also what Rajeshri Sen was referring to, that the real issue is actually the flood affected, and that's what NDTV plans to tackle in that telethon on Sunday. So join us, and thank you to both my guests. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.